Hey everyone, I'm Racsan.
And I'm Ray. So we missed a couple of Vassy's power plays this week, getting ready for the holiday break, etc. And while catching up, this clip gave us several moments of unease. Have a listen.
I think he's very keen on hosting the G7. Perhaps what he does is he prorogues Parliament for some period of time to stave off any possibilities of a non-confidence motion, and stays on to last through to the G7 in June of next year, and then steps down after that. I think
the fact that Trudeau could and just might prorogue Parliament is unsettling. Before we get started, please hit that like button and subscribe for more unfiltered conversations on important Canadian social and political issues. On that particular power play, Vassy and her guests are discussing the hot topic of the week, Freeland's resignation, and what Trudeau could do next. And in the last clip was Gary Marr, former Alberta cabinet minister, who brought up that Trudeau could prorogue Parliament. We had to go looking for a broader definition of what prorogue Parliament actually means.
So, prorogation in Canada is a prerogative power of the Crown exercised by the Governor-General on the advice of the Prime Minister to end a session of Parliament. Here's a more detailed breakdown of what it means. Prorogation formally ends a session of Parliament. This means that all unfinished business, including bills, motions, and committee work, is dropped and must be restarted from scratch in the next season. After prorogation, a new session of Parliament begins with a speech from the throne delivered by the Governor-General, and this speech outlines the government's agenda for the new session. Now, there are several reasons for prorogation. One is to reset the legislative agenda. If the government wants to shift its focus or introduce a new set of priorities, prorogation allows them to start fresh with a new speech from the throne. Another reason is to allow for a reset after a period of difficulty. Sometimes the government may prorogue Parliament to try and regain public support or change the political narrative after a period of controversy or declining popularity. And lastly, and the reason Trudeau would do this, to deal with a political crisis or loss of confidence. In some cases, prorogation has been used to buy time or regroup during a political crisis or when the government is facing a potential non-confidence vote. This is the most controversial use of prorogation.
Yeah, it's definitely controversial, but should we expect any less from our current Prime Minister?
Well, the fact that he would delay an election by any means just so that he could host the summit in June, it's not really a surprise.
We know he would love to be hosting the G7 summit. He's all about the spotlight and those moments where he's center stage. Just seems to make him happy. And if he's not in office, then he doesn't get a spotlight because it's for current officials only.
So the G7 is a smaller group of 7 wealthy democratic countries, unlike the larger G20. The main event is held annually and the location rotates among the member countries. In June 2025, Canada is hosting in Kananaskis, Alberta. And like Ray said, if you're not in office, you're not involved. Only current government officials, leaders, and their staff participate. Former politicians or leaders have no formal role in these meetings.
So what are your thoughts? Do you think we could be waiting until after June for an election? Just for Trudeau to buy time and also be the leader in charge to show off at the G7 summit in Alberta next June? Leave your thoughts in the comments and we'll hopefully see you next time.